God came to the woman and his spirit got inside her body.
Do you really think that millions and millions of people are, when they're watching television, are psychically connected?
Sometimes I feel that way. It seems different watching TV than watching a video. You seem connected somehow.
It's different.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like what Marshall McLuhan was talking about, how television would be the new church, the new high-tech and gigantic Vatican church or something like that. I don't want to get specific really about which church. He just said, McLuhan just laid down the law saying that the media was the message and the message was a Christian message. Do you believe that?
I don't know if what they're calling Christians are really, I don't know if they're really Christians. The TV evangelists want money.
Mm-hmm. Are you a Christian?
I don't even know if I believe in it anymore. I feel they're good metaphors. I don't know.
It's only metaphorical?
It may be real. I think that, like Lucifer, for instance, he was God's favorite, and he rebelled.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't edible because no women were involved, but he rebelled against his father.
Right.
Sort of. God created him, and the rest of those devils are no good, but there's hope maybe Lucifer can come back because he was God's favorite, and
yes, and he was the son of morning.
Mm-hmm.
So you think that the devil will be forgiven, and for 1,000 years, actually, they say in the new millennium, the devil will be bound for 1,000 years and then loosened. I don't quite understand that, do you?
I don't either. I'm just intuiting it.
Uh-huh.
But
there you go. It's not just a metaphor, you're intuiting it.
But also, Blake says without contraries, there's no progression. So if all there was is good, everything would be boring. You know, if it was all happy stuff. Because you can't, the devil, you know, like Bart Simpson says, you know, the best music comes from the devil. You know, the God rock isn't as good, really.
Without contraries, there is no, what?
Progression.
Progression. And the road to the palace of wisdom is through excess, something like that. What is the marriage of heaven and hell in Blake? Why does Blake mean so much to you?
Well, I like his art, and I like his style of writing. I like what he has to say.
Which is?
Well, I started out, I took the Milton class first, and I read Paradise Lost, and I found out, I loved it, and I found out how the Romantics were really inspired by it, and I wrote a paper about, you know, combining Blake with Milton. I called it The Marriage of Milton and Blake in college.
The Marriage of Milton and Blake?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, people did say when Milton published Paradise Lost that he was of the devil's party without knowing it.
Mm-hmm.
And that led to Blake, that he was of the devil's party without knowing it. And yet, I consider Blake to be a radical Christian.
Well, I consider Milton to be a radical Christian as well. You know, he wanted the Christian soldiers to arm themselves against evil.
He did. Uh-huh. So basically these contraries, which I called dualisms before, have found a new home in you.
I don't know, maybe. It'd be flattering. I don't have the ego to say that about myself, but...
Oh, I do. What about the overreacher?
Well, I don't like all of them, like Faust, for instance.
Uh-huh.
You know, he has a lot of hell to pay. Karma, bad karma.
Bad karma to pay, and he really overreaches.
Right, right. It comes back to you. I mean, maybe there is no hell, but what goes around does come back to you. Maybe times 3, perhaps. I don't know.
Would you sell your soul for the power that you need as a writer?
My soul's not for sale.
Thank you. Could you continue?
Okay, well, I'm going to start in, I'm going to introduce my character, Marilyn Skid Row, which I mentioned in the bio. And, can I plug this New York waste paper?
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Okay, well, I do comics now, and my sister and I do them together, and since February we've been in this paper called The New York Waste.
What's the circulation of that paper?
3,000, and it's in the bars like CBGB's and Coney Island High. October's, for instance, we've got our Betty and Barney Hill see Dracula's, and every month we get, let me see, every month we get a Real Voodoo column in. It's since February. It's a monthly paper.
Are those comic strips you're doing?
My sister illustrates and I write the scripts, and